Hi, Christine Howard here, Unique Presenter. Today we're going to talk all about bronzers because it is almost summer and we all want that natural sun-kissed glow that comes along. But if you're like me, I'm very fair-skinned and I don't get a tan. I never tan. I go from white to red. There's no in between. And the only way I'm going to get a tan is if I put it on myself. And I'm not a fan of doing the creams to put on because I just don't do it well. It doesn't look good. And I don't have the time or the inclination to do tanning beds. So bronzers is the solution. Now I'm going to use a Younique's Beachfront Bronzer right here. Okay, and this one is Sunset. Now you can see that there's two different colors on it. It's a little lighter, a little darker, and that works well for contouring. And we'll do contouring in another episode. Right now, I want to talk about some very basic things with bronzers. Now, bronzers are different than just using a darker loose mineral powder or anything else because there's a translucent quality that gives a little bit of a sheen to your skin. And it's going to help accentuate that brown a little bit, but not going to look oily. I promise. It doesn't look oily. Now, there's 4 different brushes that you can use when you do bronzing. Now, this is my powder puff brush, and you can see it's rather large, okay? This is my angled contour brush that I often use when I do blush. This is a concealer brush, and I'm just showing this because there's lots of different brushes about this size that you can use. Find one that you like. And the last one is a fan brush, and we're going to talk about that in another video. Okay, so when you do bronzing, you have to decide what the look is that you're going for. Okay, so mine's popped open. Now this powder brush, this I only use if I'm doing my whole face, and this is why. Because you can look, see that takes up half of my face. It's too big for my face. If I'm going to do my whole face, I'm going to go like this. I'll just put a little bit on there and I do my whole face. But even then, you still need to do under your chin a little bit and down here to your décolleté. Okay, because if you just bronze this and don't do this, you're going to look brown and paler. Or in my case, brown and white. Okay, so you don't want that. So you got to make sure you do the whole thing. And you still want to make certain areas a little darker. Those areas that naturally for you get hit by the sun when you're out in the sun. You know there's parts of your face that tend to get more sun than others. And you want those to be slightly darker so that it looks natural. If it's all one shade of brown, it's just going to look like a bad foundation. So this, the angle brush, is what I use most often. Now when I do it, see like this, I'm just going to put a little bit on, okay, like this. Bandit, no. Every time I do a video, that dog barks. Okay, so it's on there right like that. Okay, angled brush. You can see the difference from that powder brush. Doesn't take up much of my face. One option is to kind of do a 3. You can see I started up here, and you can see the brown that's coming up, okay? So you do a 3 like this, okay? Pretty simple, right? Now what that's going to do is that's going to naturally contour those faces just like if you're using a contour cream or powder, and it's going to give you that natural sun-kissed glow. Now option number 2 using this brush is to just apply it to your cheeks like this as if you're applying blusher. You don't use a blush, you use this instead. And that's going to give that natural glow that when you've been out in the sun for a long time and it's just rosier here, it's going to look like it turned into a tan. So you do a nice little, like that, okay? And if you're doing the C, when you come down, you're going to come right here on the jawline. That's going to define the jawline right here. So if you're like me and you got a little bit of a chin going, it's going to give more of a line, and it's going to make it look like you have a chin. And you can see this side, this side in this video, it looks different. You can see it didn't do nothing. I didn't get a lift here, but it makes it look like it. It's also accentuating that cheekbone right there. So this looks in a little bit more because I have very round cheeks, and so it's going to accentuate it better that way. The last option is you just put a little bit on your brush, not a whole lot, you can see. Okay? And you just come and you just do a C. Okay? Just a C. Depending on what your face structure is what's going to look best on you. And so you really need to try it out a couple times at home and just do this. Now notice I did a line, but when you're going to go out, you really want to blend it in a little bit because the big thing with makeup, no matter what you're doing, if you don't blend, it really looks obvious that it's makeup. And with bronzer, we want it to look natural. So now, this small brush, what is this for? Well, you tend to get a little bit brown on your face. And rather than using those big brushes, you can just put a little bit right here on your nose, right like that, and you got bronzer on your nose, okay? Really simple, one small brush, an angled brush for my face because I have a smaller face. But if you're gonna do the whole face, you just put some, see, just circular motions, and you just do the whole face like this. Just go down, put a little bit more, come down into here, as low as your shirt is open. Now, if, like I have my hair up so you can see what I'm doing, well, if your hair is going to be up, you do need to come back and maybe do your ears a little bit, okay? Because you don't want your ears a different shade than your face. Come back, do your neck, and if it's not what you want, you can always go back, do more, okay? And again, when you're done, just a little bit more right there to accentuate that jawline, maybe a little bit more on the cheek to accentuate those cheekbones, and you're good to go. And if you need to, you can put a little bit right there on the bridge of your nose, okay? So again, it depends on your face. I use a small angle brush if I'm doing just a little bit. I do my big powder puff brush if I'm doing my whole face, and for tiny little spots, I use a small brush like my concealer brush. Now, the thing is, you want to make sure that they are not human hair, they're not real hair brushes, because real hair picks up creams better and fake hair tends to pick, the synthetic fiber brushes tend to pick up the powders a little bit better. Again, it's personal preference. That's just my opinion of what I think works better. So, how to choose your brushes, how to apply. You got your 3, you got your C, and you got your whole face. And next video, I'm going to show you how to make it look a little bit rosy with your bronzer, but that's going to come up in another video. So, my ladies, if you have any questions, feel free to put them right down below. Let me know how it goes, and if you would like more information on getting some of Younique's wonderful mineral-based bronzers, my link is below. All right, my beauties, have a fabulous night. Bye.